How is it possible that Jungkook, without releasing any new music in 2025, was suddenly crowned the best K-pop star of the year? What hidden force pushed his name above every active artist? And why is ARMY erupting with pride and disbelief at the same time? Before we uncover the emotional truth behind this unprecedented moment, share your thoughts in the comments, like this report, and subscribe so you won't miss future updates. Because what you're about to read is not just a headline. It's a seismic shift no one saw coming. The announcement was delivered so quietly at first that many assumed it was an error, a glitch, a misprint, a headline that appeared too surreal to be real. But when the official confirmation followed minutes later, the global fandom went into complete meltdown. Jungkook had been officially named the best K-pop star of 2025, despite releasing no new music throughout the year. Not a comeback, not a single, not even a teaser. Yet he effortlessly surpassed dozens of artists who were actively promoting, charting, and performing. The industry froze. The public gasped. ARMY burst into celebration, so explosive it lit up every corner of social media within seconds. And quietly, behind all the noise, Jungkook himself was said to be stunned, silent, humbled, overwhelmed by recognition he never expected to receive during one of his most musically inactive periods. How did this happen? Why 2025? Why now? When he wasn't even trying to compete? The answer, according to insiders, begins far earlier than the announcement. It begins with how Jungkook exists beyond the boundaries of a traditional idol. No promotional cycle, no press push, no chart strategy. Yet his influence continued to grow, defying every metric, surpassing every expectation. But the true emotional turning point began months before the award was decided. Jungkook, who had been keeping a low profile, was still a constant in the lives of millions. His older performances resurfaced regularly, trending without prompt. His live appearances, rare but sincere, shook the internet every time he spoke. His name moved the algorithm even when he was silent. His presence shaped conversations even when he was offline. He did nothing, and yet everything happened. Jin was reportedly one of the first to hear the news privately. He blinked, stunned, then laughed in disbelief. He didn't even release anything. Of course it's him, he said, shaking his head with affection only a true hyung could express. Jimin, upon hearing it later, was said to tear up slightly, whispering, "That's Jungkook. Even when he's quiet, he shines." And ARMY? ARMY reacted with a pride so intense the entire fandom felt like one heartbeat. Because deep down, they always knew Jungkook wasn't just an artist. They loved him for the person he was, the sincerity he gave, the emotional honesty he shared, the raw humanity that threaded every note he ever sang. Still, the question lingers in the air like electricity. How does someone win the biggest title of the year without releasing any music? The answer lies in influence. Pure, unfiltered, unstoppable influence. Jungkook's digital footprint remained unmatched. His past releases continued charting years after their debut. His fan engagement dwarfed entire promotional campaigns by other artists. His face dominated year-end rankings. His voice, even when silent in 2025, remained louder than every comeback combined. Industry experts attempted to explain it. They pointed to data, streaming longevity, cultural relevance. But ARMY didn't need explanations. They knew this was more than mechanics. This was emotional recognition. This was validation of a legacy built from passion, grit, vulnerability, and authenticity. But the world didn't fully understand the magnitude of the moment until Jungkook reacted. He reportedly learned the news alone in a practice room, where he had been quietly rehearsing for something he hadn't even announced. The staff who witnessed it described the scene with a mix of shock and emotion. Jungkook froze, eyes wide, lips parted without a sound. For a long moment, he simply stared at the message on his phone, unable to move. Then, unexpectedly, he sat down slowly on the floor, covering his mouth with both hands. Not out of disbelief, but out of emotion so deep his body needed a moment to hold it. He didn't smile right away. One staff member shared quietly. He looked overwhelmed, like he didn't think he deserved it. And that was the part that shattered ARMY the most. Jungkook never believed he needed to be awarded anything. He simply worked, loved, gave, and tried. He never chased the crown. The crown found him. Meanwhile, social media turned into a storm of global celebration. Countries trended his name for hours. Fans shared memories, videos, tears, and messages that filled timelines with purple pride. They congratulated him not with simple words, but with stories of how he changed their lives, how his voice carried them through moments they couldn't survive alone, how his presence made their world feel softer. ARMY said, "He earned this by being Jungkook." And truly, that was enough. But the industry still buzzed with confusion. Was this a shift in the hierarchy of K-pop? A sign that influence now outweighed output? Had Jungkook redefined what it meant to be an artist? What does it mean for future awards if silence can speak louder than sound? The shockwaves didn't end there. Hours after the announcement, reporters noticed that Jungkook arrived at HYB unexpectedly, wearing a mask and hoodie, slipping quietly into the building. When he left just before midnight, his eyes looked swollen, as if he had cried, and staff confirmed it. No official statement was released, but the truth didn't need a press release. Everyone could feel it. Jungkook had taken the weight of the moment into his heart, holding it with gratitude too big to put into words. And then came the moment ARMY will never forget. Late into the night, with no warning, Jungkook appeared live for a few minutes. He didn't sing. He didn't perform. He simply sat in front of the camera, looking emotional in a way he couldn't hide, and whispered, "I didn't expect this. I don't feel like I deserve it, but thank you. I'll work hard. I promise." Before ending the stream, he placed a hand over his heart and bowed deeply. Not an idle bow, a grateful, emotional, overwhelmed bow of someone who had been seen, loved, and understood more deeply than he ever expected. That short moment was enough to break the internet. Fans around the world cried, comforted each other, and celebrated even harder, knowing the award had touched Jungkook in a way titles rarely do. What happened today was not an award ceremony. It was a reminder, a revelation, a shift, a testimony. Jungkook didn't need new music in 2025 to prove who he was. His legacy spoke for him. His presence carried him. His sincerity won hearts the way no strategy ever could. ARMY congratulated him loudly, emotionally, endlessly, because they knew this wasn't about activity, streams, or charts. This was about recognition of an artist who had given too much of himself to ever be forgotten. Jungkook becoming the best K-pop star of 2025 wasn't a surprise to ARMY. It was destiny catching up.